patient, there is some trigger of pulsatilla somewhere. You understand? Now, whatever we are talking and we are trying to understand is always, we also know that there is something called as predictive homeopathy, which is followed by a very senior homeopathic doctor who is currently very active, very famous right now. I do not know what is the predictive homeopathy about, but when we will know the trigger factors in a person's life, we will know when this person is going to become a patient. You understand? Now, whatever we are trying to do, the trouble that Dr. Yevle has taken trying to put forward the pulsatilla picture in front of us, the person may not have all these features. Even the doctor, when you say that the discharges are bland, it means the discharges are bland today. And then it may not take very much time for the pulsatilla patient to convert into something else, some other personality profile, or drug profile. What we are trying to do today, if I ask you just like this, how much do you remember of the picture that Dr. Yevle put up on the board? Offhand, we can talk about weeping, we can talk about changeability of the symptom, we can talk about the shifting joint pains, we can think of Kalibai shifting joint and we can think of pulsatilla. The two are extremely different. So automatically pulsatilla is concluded. What else? Then we have to actually start batting our brains. Changeability, marked features. How often do you find the changeability in the person? Very often. Very often. You can talk to the daughter-in-law who wants attention, who comes to the clinic with the mother-in-law. You will find them that when they are, especially from certain states, when they are not given enough attention, you can find a person desperately trying to portray a patient-like picture, but not actually a patient. It's still a person. But so many things are familiar along this road. So when we are trying to understand this drug, it is not just the idea of learning the drug. We are also trying to figure out what could have been the triggers in this patient's life which mark them as a pulsatilla person. So when we speak about the discharges, Dr. was saying the Lugorian accident, the other discharges, the gland, the person the better by standing out, words by in a closed warm room, etc., etc. That will not fix up, that will not complete the whole thing. If I ask what comes to your mind, we will have to actually think beyond these things. Dr. Yevle gave from experience. We need to have certain, I think we are in our own brain minds, we are having certain analysis going on in the brain. This is there, this is not there, this is there, this is not there, this is there, this is not there. So when we go behind the scenes and try to understand the drug, that is when we become actually good practitioners. So today's effort, Dr. Yevle has put up the entirety of pulsatilla. Now when we start talking on the next week, the next week, the next week, start preparing the drug before the presenter comes on the stage. So you know the other drugs which can, the comparative medical starts when the drug feature stops. Obviously, we will know exactly how you want to differentiate the beating of pulsatilla or the beating of ignitia, the beating of atomor, the kind of sepia. Sepia is you should see the sepia patients. Dr. Goswami can tell us about the cycle. Sepia patient can present in so many pulsatilla ways. Yes. So that's what we have to actually start when the next drugs come up. Last week, 2 weeks back, we spoke that we have to cover something like 20-25 drugs. So by the time those 25-30 drugs are covered, I think we will have a very good cross network of drug features in our mind. We will know, every time we will talk, Dr. Yevle has given a good presentation of pulsatilla. We will go back to the beating of pulsatilla. When does a pulsatilla patient beat? What makes it beat? You said, my friend, when you are elusive, I think the pulsatilla patient, the heart and the core of the pulsatilla is wanting attention. Yes. Even the weeping tendency of the pulsatilla patient is made in such a way that the person needs that human emotional warmth, bringing people next to them, close to them. Exactly. That's why you have when somebody goes to console them, they feel better. Very many times I have wondered whether the weeping is first or the consolation is first. Weeping is first, but it is for the sake of the consolation that they start weeping in the first. You understand? So now unless you start looking at this, and also there are so many patients who come and they start talking. While they are talking about the husband or the son, the tears starts coming. It's a typical concept tendency. But then you have to start inquiring further. So I spoke about this to here. Whether pulsatile is what is the patient requires. Even now today, with this kind of weather going on, we have the first, second, third stages of a cold, or a rhinitis, or a sinusitis. Can we give pulsatile the first stage, the second stage, or the third stage? I mean, think about it. Logically speaking, whatever we have heard about pulsatile, would it fit into the first stage of a cold?
No, sir.
The second stage of a cold, the third stage of a cold, where the discharge starts to turn. Yes. See the, if you have a child, you have to get that. Yeah.
So they had mentioned you can use Pentora before pulsatile.
Before pulsatile.
First stage,
Right.
you mentioned 3 stages. First stage, you can use Pentora. Pentora.
So now, the idea is the purpose that they are getting. We are all senior doctors. They have spent at least a couple of years to a couple of years. The idea is to always not look at pulsatile as pulsatile. It is to look beyond pulsatile as to what makes a pulsatile patient. Whether it is we have been on while going to medicine from Dr. Ramesh, I think we know of the diabetes triggers, we know the ischemic heart disease triggers. We also know the cancer triggers, etc. It means what it means is that the genetic code to trigger those illnesses, whether it is diabetes or arthritis or ischemic blood pressure, whatever, it is lying dormant inside the person. And if the person is following a healthy lifestyle, those triggers may never be triggered. I feel even our homeopathic medicine comes with those triggers. A naturomorph patient who at the age of 45 or 50 could become a naturomorph may never become a naturomorph unless there is an emotional disturbance somewhere in the life. You understand? That's what makes the mind space important. So the point is to go behind the scenes. We always have the movies also. I think we have that behind the scenes. They show how the movie is actually made. So that's what we're trying to do. We should be trying to do. To see how the drug is actually made. What's enough? Dr. Sharma is going to give his talk on steroids and the comparative fertility. Dr. Sharma, इसको भी डालेंगे ये भी डालते हैं ले ना give it चलेगा
Very good evening to all of you. This is see a better product as compared to last time. So happy about that. I feel that this lecture we have heard a lot. So more or less, I think it should be an interactive session between all of us. So you can add your own points also, whatever you feel that maybe I'm missing or probably you feel that you need to add this point, please add it. So today's topic is basically diarrhea. Diarrhea is a thing which we see in our day-to-day practice, whether you are consulting or general practice or whatever you are doing. Very common thing, and this being the summer season, I started doing this topic first. So basically, let us start with the definition of diarrhea. Diarrhea is defined by the World Health Organization as having 3 or more foods or liquid stools per day, or as having more stools than is normal for that person. Some people normally pass more than 10 times in a day, that is normal for a person. But if it is doing more than what is normal for a person, is considered as fluid. Acute diarrhea is defined as an abnormally frequent discharge of semi-solid or fluid fecal matter from the bowel lasting less than 14 days. I feel you can hear me. Okay. If it is lasting more than 14 days, then it is probably chronic diarrhea. But if it is less than 14 days, then it is acute diarrhea. Now, diarrhea has of basically